King 5's John Langeler is live near the fire line with the latest on the firefight and one family's return. John.
Good evening, Rob. That firefight is once again here on the northern edge of the fire. In fact, you can see a Huey about to make a water drop here on this northern edge. Last night, this was relatively tame compared to other parts that had blown up, but for the last several hours, this has been the focus of the fight. That wind has shifted back towards us from a westerly direction. It is a very active situation here on this edge of the Taylor Bridge fire. There are hundreds of crews up there in the trees. Coincidentally, it is a tree that has had one woman be very thankful tonight.
But look at that. Those big trees.
You'll rarely see Mary Lou Smith without her trademark hair curlers.
Oh my golly.
And her trademark style of conversation.
Golly, look how close that came.
Full of, shall we say, enthusiasm.
But look at, oh gee, those are torched.
But her enthusiasm is understandable. She'd been evacuated from the Taylor Bridge fire.
The wind was blowing terribly. And my husband said, we're getting out of here.
Saturday, they finally got back.
And the cat was so glad to be home.
The Smiths' home survived, even though fire crept right to their doorstep. Their neighbors, they weren't so lucky.
Oh, look at, there's a cup up there.
Mangled metal marks a destroyed house that used to be theirs.
This was a big deck right here off of this place.
But of all the things Smith is glad survived, it's not something she owns, but something she planted many years ago.
And I want to make sure my Mandy tree was there.
Her Mandy tree, a huge spruce that towers over her home. It has special meaning.
Our dear friends had lost their daughter with heart surgery.
That daughter was named Mandy. Smith played piano at her funeral. The small amount of money she was given to perform was used to buy the tree, and it's still here.
Sheesh.
Trees may still be burning just a few miles away, but for Smith, at least one important one still stands.
And where she lives is on the southern edge where the fire started. Here on the northern edge again, you can see the sun barely through the smoke. The smoke is blowing back towards us from a westerly direction. It is still a very active scene here on the northern edge of the fire. So while some are finding their homes intact, there are others that are learning that certainly they have a lot of damage that they have to go through. And it's also not just the fire, it's the aftermath that has caused problems. We'll have that story coming up tonight at 6:30. Live near Cle Elum, John Langeler, King 5 News.
Thanks, John. King 5 and U.S. Bank have teamed up for